Hey, this is Ben Solomon, and welcome to this episode of the Techno Leadership Show. In this episode, we are going to be talking about how to prepare your CV for a executive leadership role in technology. So roles like Director of Technology, Director of Engineering, VP level roles, CIO, CTO, that sort of roles. All these roles, the main thing that we have to think about is their strategic roles, their business roles, more than technical roles. So, what does being a business role have to do with how we approach doing our CV or resume? When it comes to focusing on a business role, which is a business leadership role, you want to always start with the strategic element and how your skills, your strengths are going to support the overall strategic growth of the business, and how you're going to play the linchpin role, so to speak, from a technology integration into the whole business. So, unlike other roles, like you have your tech manager, engineering manager roles, which is leadership roles, yet they are below your executive leadership role. You're doing a lot of resource management there, focusing on the team below you, the outcomes that you produce with the inputs that you have available. So managing some aspects of the budget, managing projects, managing where things move around, and all of those aspects. But when you go to the next step up, which is into executive leadership, you need to emphasize how you are able to align the tech vision with the business vision and integrate technology in a manner that's ubiquitous, but at the same time effective, and allows the business to get a competitive advantage in the marketplace and thrive. So, if you look at it from that perspective, when anyone looks at your resume and or CV for a C-level or director level sort of role in an organization, they are looking at how you can manage stakeholders, how you can, if you've ever dealt with some form of reporting to a board. They look at aspects like your ability to integrate strategically technology into business to create large outcomes. One of the things that stood out for me in my movement from my tech manager role into tech director role was, even in my tech manager role, I was taking a lot of the weight of the director of technology in that business, and I was already looking at the business holistically, and I had already worked with key stakeholders in the organization there to put in place business initiatives using technology along the lines of a LMS system for onboarding users, onboarding staff, and providing all the training that they need, so that we could have a consistent training for everyone, no matter at which point of the year they started with the organization. Because sometimes at the start of the year, you have a bit more time to dedicate to new staff coming in, but through the year, they almost have to come in and start, hit the ground running. So we needed a consistent training experience, consistent onboarding experience that would allow every staff member who came into the organization to have the same level of training and support to be able to be onboarded to the organization and be able to function effectively, and to utilize all the platforms, all the systems, and everything that is available to them to be more effective. So that then came across as one of the stories of how I was able to look at big picture long term and see how the lack of such a training and onboarding consistency was causing high attrition rates, and how having something like this in place allowed us to reduce the attrition rate by more than half, which to a business is beneficial because it's not just the salary that you pay someone, it's the cost of onboarding them, cost of training them, cost of supporting them, cost of recruiting them, and then if they leave, then it's a cost of offboarding them and then finding the replacement. It's a huge expense. So that made a significant difference to the overall business, which helped me in the process of putting a foot forward as someone who's a strategic thinker, who is a holistic thinker. That brought significant value with that sort of thought process and ability. So you want to highlight any and every skill that you have to holistically look at a business and embed technology in such a way that it helps the business to gain an advantage in the marketplace in any form, whether it's internally with onboarding and with effectiveness and efficiencies being increased, or externally with how the business interacts with the customers and those sort of aspects as well. So if you've done projects in your previous roles, bring that in and say, this is how I was thinking holistically about the business and thinking 5, 10, 15 years down the track, what the implications would be. And this is the solution that I proposed and my team put into implementation, which then gave us this result, which gave us a 50% reduction in attrition, or whatever else it might be. This is the result that you were able to get. For example, you might say this then gave us the opportunity to reduce attrition by about 50%, which then over the long term means that the business saved X thousands of dollars or X millions of dollars, depending on what your scale for that is. So you want to highlight those sort of accomplishments that have done a holistic change to the organization that stands out. And then obviously you'd want to have your summary at the top that demonstrates your ability to think holistically, think in such a way that you're looking at the whole business and how each part and every technological aspect in it would support the whole business. And you also want to highlight things like how you manage vendors, how you manage stakeholders within the organization and outside the organization, and how you manage and work with executive teams. So all of that need to be brought into short bullet points or a short summary at the top. And then in every role that you've had so far, if you've had any exposure to holistic thinking, strategic thinking, you worked with a technology manager or technology director to do some planning or support or road mapping, bring all of that to the top. Your actual technical expertise does not really matter as much at that level. At that level, you're thinking more strategically how your work, whatever work you've done, whatever projects you've played a part in, has affected the business and helped achieve something positive for the business. So bring those in, and then obviously in the skills section, go through the skills that are high in strategy and strategic benefit. Things like leadership, the ability to roadmap, ability to do scenario planning, all of those sort of things at the top. And then you can add some of your technical experience and other soft skills that you have. And then you have your referees if you want to have them. If you're someone who would prefer to have the recruiter call you before they're ready to do reference checks, then you can take the referees off that list and say referees provided on contact sort of thing. So that's pretty much it. It's a shift from your normal management roles and other professional roles. When you come to this level, you're thinking from a very different plane of view. You're looking always in the 5, 10, 20 year horizon and translating how you have skills to see and prepare the organization for that sort of horizon in that role that you'd be going into, a director role, C-level role, VP role, whatever it might be for that specific area. So hopefully that helps you out. Hopefully that helps you think a bit differently when you go into redoing your resume and preparing for that next step in your career. I wish you all the best in your journey as a tech professional, manager, and leader. If you like this episode, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button so that you're notified of future episodes as they are released. Take care, and I look forward to talking to you in a future episode.